Hi y'all, this is Kurt James with Welcome Home RGV, and today I'm at the Lamb's Loom, and I'm super excited because I get to learn how to knit. But this place is way more than just learning about knitting and all things yarn. For the last 14 years, this ministry has been doing its part to help people give back, not just here in the Rio Grande Valley, but to everywhere in the world. So let's take a quick look and see what there is to do here at the Lamb's Loom. Tell us a little bit about the Lamb's Loom and what this organization is all about, what you do.
Well, we started making hats and different items to donate to different ministries a long time ago. And 6.5 years ago, we filed and made it official, and we are a nonprofit now and located here. We send handmade items with missionaries all over the world, and a lot locally. But
Well, earlier we were having a conversation. You told us a little bit about how it really started. You have the place now where all the yarn and the skeins of yarn are in there, and you sell them here. But that's not how it started. Give us a little rundown about how it started.
a couple of us went to a presentation by a friend on making shawls and doing all of that, and I offered to give my friend $50 for the shawl because I thought then she could go buy more yarn. I'd be supporting what she did, and that would be great. And she said, "No, but I'll teach you." And I thought, well, I don't have time for this, which you need to be careful when you say that because you end up doing it all the time. But we went to that, and then we learned how to loom knit, and like what we just taught you how to do
Yes.
a little bit ago.
I did get an opportunity to have a lesson on how to knit, and I am an expert, and I can't wait to show you the finished product. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So it really kind of got started in the coffee shops until it grew to more volunteerism.
Well, to more than we could just operate out of the trunks of our cars and shoved in closets at home. More people started finding out about us, and so that's where we ended up opening this, because we were already sending 700 to 1,000 hats into deep Mexico with one mission group. We sent to Afghanistan with one of the pastors from here in McAllen. He was called up at a base in Afghanistan and requested things. So it just got more than what we could do as a once a week get together thing. So
what was the step that kind of went from, hey, we could do this locally, but we could do it even bigger?
Actually, a friend of mine was moving her business location, and she had 2 little rooms in the back, and she said, "I don't know what I'm going to do with that." And we thought, well, we do. And it just...
We're going to unload the trunks of our cars because we've got skeins of yarn and needles and all kinds of stuff, right?
Because we were having friends not only give us finished items, but they were doing that. They were coming in and saying, I found my great aunt's stash under the bed and I don't knit, so here you go. So people were giving us yarn and we didn't have anywhere to put it. So our sweet friend let us use her 2 rooms at her business, and then it just exploded.
Oh my gosh. So tell me a little bit about the countries that you actually send these finished products to.
Well, the first one was with Pastor Mike into Mexico. That's what started it all for us. And Kenya. There was a medical mission that was going from one of the churches here to Kenya. So those were the first 2 things we did. And we made prayer shawls, but we made them a little longer because what they explained to us is that when the woman was working or doing anything and she would give birth, the baby would just be placed down. So part of the medical mission was to explain and teach them about a little more care and educate them in that way, so that then what the medical people were doing was just about immunizations and things, not just basic care and germs and things like that. So they did that for 2 years and turned the mortality rate in that particular village went from 80% of the babies to 20%.
Okay.
It was an immediate flip. And it was all about these shawls that these women were taught to just swaddle their child up to themselves.
Okay.
And
so protecting them.
Yes.
So that's where it comes. It's they're protecting the babies in the Lord.
Right. And so
that's great.
That really, here we are playing with yarn, and it turns out what it can do for this little child about halfway around the world was amazing to us.
That's
and
awesome.
that just inspired us to, okay, where else can we do this, and where do we need to be with it? So,
Well, I learned today on the loom that there are pegs on the loom, but your organization encourages people to be a peg. Can you tell me a little about what being a peg is all about?
being a peg is to pray, to encourage others in this effort of giving. And so we want people to think positively about what we can do, and then to put that into action. And that's the encouraging part. And then to give, whether you're giving that word of encouragement, or making hats or shawls for here, or financially want to help with the rent. You know?
Understood. Understood. So let's talk a little bit about financing. So this is a nonprofit organization, but there are expenses that need to, or that you have that need to be covered. So how do you cover those expenses?
Part of it is the shop. That's where the shop is twofold, in that it helps pay the rent, but it also provides us with the supplies for the teaching side of what we do. And then there are people who have come alongside and monthly give whatever they feel like they can do, and they've pledged to do that, and that has helped a lot, especially right now. So we're blessed with both. So even if they're not someone who's giving something in the donation chest, but they're shopping here, they're helping keeping us going.
So every little bit helps.
Absolutely.
That's great. So were you surprised when you started doing this and started seeing people that had a need for the products, how much it exploded and how much need is really out there?
I guess we were surprised in the sense that we didn't see every little person who came along. That wasn't what we were expecting at all. It just grows. I think I told you, we know we get to make all these things and people bring them in, and God's in charge of distribution. You know, there's always going to be a need somewhere, so we just need to be open and ready for it. About 4 years ago, we had all kinds of blankets, and we'd never had that many blankets before. We were just, I don't know why do we have all these blankets, and we just kept piling them up. And, okay, Lord, somewhere. And that's when we had that really big freeze.
So I saw that you have a giant storage room where you have bags of finished product that are ready to go out all over the world. Now, is there an order form that these people send you, or they request certain items? How does that work?
We do have a request form now, and they fill it out, let us know where they're going to be distributing them, what they anticipate their need is, because we don't always know. We help Emily's Meals, for instance, here in McAllen, and so they will give us kind of an idea of the number of people, and for them we do hats and scarves, but we aren't just going to give them something that it wouldn't meet their need. And so we give them the opportunity, if they need kids items, they kind of break that down, and then we give that to the board and let them review it, and we're off.
That's great. So Jeannie, you have a donation chest
Yes.
that you see right when you walk in, and right now it's full. Mostly hats is what I saw. But can you tell us a little bit about the donation chest?
The donation chest is where everybody who likes to make things for us brings them and puts them in there. They all know that that's the one spot, so they don't get confused with maybe the Christmas present you're making or something. So they all get put in there, and then we count the chest whenever it's full. Like today, we'll probably count the chest, and we sort things by hat, shawl, baby sweaters, whatever's been put in there. And that just helps us later as we get to the distribution point, or if somebody calls and says, I need baby booties for the McAllen Pregnancy Center, then we can get to them instead of going through a whole big pile of things. So our donation chest has been filled by Winter Texans for years before the donation chest was a thing. So it's been really cool to see how the Winter Texans come in after being gone all summer. And they walk in, like the lady I was telling you about yesterday, and she came in with her 4 bags of what she had made and put it in the chest, and she'll be back again.
So the beginning of the Winter Texan season is exciting for you because you get an opportunity to get all of the things that people have been working on throughout the summer.
Right, right. And then before they leave home here to go wherever they're going back home to, then they'll leave us what they worked on while they're here. And a lot of them come hang out and do. Now we're doing outside sit and knit and help and volunteer here in other ways, but it's just always neat to see that they know our needs and they stay in touch via the website or Facebook or something, and they'll fulfill whatever that is.
One of the things that I've always been excited about working with Winter Texans is they're very into volunteerism. So how many volunteers do you have here at the Lambs Loom?
We have 22 that take different shifts and different responsibilities. Several of those are Winter Texans, just rotate through the year. And they teach classes or they help in sit and knit. If you came in with your loom and had a problem, dropped a stitch, there'd be somebody there to help you fix that. So just different.
Thank goodness, because I think that there will be a lot of mistakes to fix. I did okay. Anne did a great job of coaching. It was not the instruction. It was who she had to work with. So, but thank you so much for showing us around a little bit today and teaching us a little bit about what Lambs Loom is all about and what we can do to help. And if the Winter Texans want to bring a group or just a handful of people to sit and knit, how do they do that?
Just give us a call. We'll reserve them a spot and find out how many they have, and we'll have it all set up for them. That we do that regularly too. They call it a field trip to the Lambs Loom. So
that's great.
And we call it our happy place. There's a reason why.
It is a happy place, and you can feel it when you walk in. There's just a vibe that there's a sense of something bigger than just a giant room of yarn.
Right. That's right.
All right.
I may quote you on that.
Yeah, there you go. It's bigger than that. Well, Jeannie, thank you so much for spending some time today. This is a fantastic organization, and our group of Winter Texans always likes to help, and they know now where you're at and how to reach you. So thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank y'all for coming. Appreciate it.